TV podcast. We're here. We're back on Zoom, not in the studio this week. Had to get in touch, though, for the fights this week. We got UFC 265. Is that what we got? That's the number we're at. So, TV podcast brought to you by Resilient Real Estate. Like we said, had to get in there and talk about the pay-per-view this weekend. We got some big fights, couple fights that hit close to home, actually, that we'll get into. So, Kimura, what do we got on the card this week?
All right, so UFC 265, obviously, we're main event with Derek Lewis and Cyril Gane. As we know, Derek Lewis is someone that podcast loves, hilarious on the mic. The guy absolutely throws absolute fucking bombs. So we're all about Derek Lewis. We got robbed a little bit on this card because we were supposed to have Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena. Unfortunately, Nunes got COVID, so we're going to be waiting a little bit longer on that one. But the good news is we have some fucking awesome fights on this card. So we've got Lewis Gane, Aldo, obviously former featherweight champion, Luque Chiesa, number one contender fight. So we're going to start breaking down and getting into it. As CY mentioned, we've got a friend of the podcast, guy that we had on early in 2020, Johnny Munoz Jr., representing Inland Empire.
Kvenbo, let's go, baby.
Yep, he's a minus 300 favorite against Jamie Simmons.
Lock.
So how you guys feeling about this one, boys?
I think he's confident. He probably should have won his last fight. I didn't like the decision call there. I think his jiu-jitsu is unreal. This guy looks, Simmons, we don't know much about him. Kind of looks like a wrestler. But I'm telling you right now, wrestlers don't do well against brilliant jiu-jitsu guys. Like, hands down, he's going to tear him up on the ground, and I feel like he could pick him apart. He'll be a little quicker on his feet.
Yeah, I like Munoz by submission here. I think at some point he's just going to find a way to get him on the ground and have his way with him. He should be 1-0 in the UFC. We all know the 2 groin kicks shouldn't have happened, and his last fight got canceled due to injury, his opponent. So they kind of just threw him a fight in here, and I mean, good for him. I'm fired up for him. I watched him weigh in today. I watched his cut a little bit last night, talked to him back and forth a couple times. So I'm pumped for him, man. This is the closest we've had to, a UFC guy, besides obviously Jamal, he hasn't fought since he's been on the podcast. So I'm fired up. I hope he goes out there and kills him. So yeah, I mean, he's the biggest favorite on the card. So, I hope he goes out there and takes care of business, and I hope he submits him, because I know those Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys like to submit guys. So hope he takes care of that.
We're naked.
Yeah, if you're looking to bet him, obviously minus 300, it's huge chalk on him. Munoz by sub is actually plus 180, so not too bad there. That's probably the line you're going to want to bet on him there. So
that's the bet to make.
Yeah, I think that's the bet to make.
First, or if you want to go like Munoz round 1, you think it gets done early, or Munoz round 2. Those are always good plays there. But he's the biggest favorite on the card, and he opened up a minus 150, and he's bet all the way up to minus 300 now. So obviously we're riding with him. We think he's got the real deal, and revenge for that first loss in the UFC. So we're back in. I hear more from Johnny Munoz. Make sure you guys listen to the podcast early on last year. You should have that. We have some good talks with him about his UFC, his first stint in there. So excited to see this number 2 with him. All right. Moving forward, we got a couple of bantamweight prospects. We got Song Yadong and Casey Kenny. Casey Kenny is a slight favorite at 120. These are 2 bantamweight prospects that are absolute dudes. Both of them very young in their career. Song Yadong, only 23 years old, and really fired up to watch these guys fight. Both coming off losses on the Adesanya and Blockwoods card. So Casey Kenny, I think B and I were just talking about him off air a minute ago, had an absolute brawl with Nathaniel Wood back in Abu Dhabi during COVID time. So really excited to get this guy in the cage. And I like him by decision here to get it done. What do you think?
I'm on the Kenny train. The Dominic Cruz fight was close. I mean, he held his own. Dominic Cruz is a legend in the sport, but he was coming on a 3-fight win streak before that. Kenny's my guy. I like Kenny here.
Yeah. I like Kenny too. I haven't watched a lot of these guys fight, but from what I have seen, I just kind of like the way that style that Kenny does fight. So I'm gonna ride with him. It's a slight favorite.
I think I'm hoping. Go ahead, B.
Just that Nathaniel Wood fight. It was, I'm pretty sure it's the Gaethje Khabib card.
Yeah.
Fell in love with him. Fucking absolute brawler. Good for the sport.
Yeah. No, he's a dude. I think in that Dominic Cruz fight, Cruz's just, awkwardness really gave him a hard time. I'm hoping he just gets back to that wrestling and just kind of works Yudong in this one. Song Yudong has some fucking hands though. So, and he's been working out at Team Alpha Male now up north with Uriah Faber and them. So he's working on his wrestling. So we'll see. I like Kenny, but it's pick 'em odds. There's a ton of fights like this. And like I said, we go to the next one, and probably my favorite card or my favorite fight, possibly the one I'm looking most to. Both you guys know I absolutely love both these fighters here. Michael Chiesa, -105, and Vicente Luque, who's sitting at a -115. This is like number one contender in an absolute stacked welterweight division. So Chiesa just coming off a win against Neil Magny. Luque coming off a submission win over Tyron Woodley. What do you guys think about this fight here?
I've probably gone back and forth
Yeah, go ahead.
4 or 5 times in my head about this fight. I got to go who I've been with. I'm a Luque guy. Like I like Luque, so I'm gonna ride with him. But I like both these guys a lot. I think it's gonna be a great fight. I think it's gonna be a fight of the night.
What are you thinking?
That's possible. I like that call. Luque all the way. He's hot right now. 3-fight win streak. I think he takes it to him. I think it's a decision win. And I like what's next for him. I think a title shot's in the near future.
Ooh, all right. Like I said, tough one for me to call. Just like you guys said, it's going to be pick 'em odds when this thing comes out. I've been on Chiesa. I was the only one on Chiesa in that Magny fight, and he absolutely worked him. But Luque's good on the mat too. He trains with Gilbert Burns, so he's a black belt Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But he's got some fucking hands, as we know. Like he's got some nasty hands. Like he gets in brawls, but he's so much more technical than that. I think the key is if Chiesa can get him on the mat, can he take down Vicente Luque and work him down there? That's Chiesa's only route to win this fight. His decision prop right now is at 180, so not bad if you're looking to back that. Vicente Luque by knockout +300, and decision is +250. So pretty interesting lines. I don't think Chiesa is going to be able to keep him on the ground. If he does, he might get a takedown or two. That's fine. But ultimately, I think with Luque's hands, I think he's going to knock out Chiesa. I do. I have Luque by knockout, probably second round +300. Maybe even first. If he can't get him down, Luque's fucking hands will get to him real fast.
I love that.
And his back.
Big Luque guy. I hope that happens.
Feel that shit. Yeah, I like Luque, and that welterweight division, just that makes it even more complicated because it's like, because he kind of deserves a title shot after that 4 or 5 win streak.
I don't know how you can deny him that. I really don't.
Yeah, we'll talk about that moving forward. Co-main event, obviously, Jose Aldo, former featherweight GOAT champion, fighting an up-and-comer Pedro Munhoz. Aldo's a slight favorite at -120. Pretty interesting. It's kind of interesting because both these guys are actually the same age. So you kind of think that Jose Aldo's like in his 40s now, but dude's only like mid-30s, early 30s, and he's kind of toward the end of his career. You know what I mean? So where do you guys think this fight plays out?
I think Aldo, before I think it was Vera, right? He just came off a win of Vera. Before that fight, he was getting beat up, man. Probably like 2, 3, 4 in a row. So I don't like it.
I think 3 or 4.
Yeah, I love Aldo. I think it's just time's done. I don't know. I mean, he could sneak this one out, but we're going to that next level where like he's just gonna start getting beat up.
I mean, everything wants to take Munoz here, but I got to ride with Aldo. I think Aldo wins here. I think the veteran here. I think he's found his comfort in this weight class. I think we've seen like a reincarnated Aldo. Not the same Aldo we see, but I think we see a comfortable Aldo, and I think he's kind of, he's shutting people up. Everyone thought he was done, and he seems to be a real contender in an absolute stacked division. I think he shows it this week. So I think he wins a close fight. I think it's actually a really good fight. but I'm gonna take Aldo in a close one.
All right. Yeah, I think what this fight comes down to, it's tough because, like we said, they're the same age, but it's like who's got the more tread on the tires. You know what I mean? Seems like Munoz is definitely a lot younger when it comes to fighting right now, but fight IQ goes with Aldo. But the durability issues right now with Aldo are challenging because, like B said, he's knocked out by Max Holloway twice. He got knocked out by Peter Yan and took a ton of damage in that fight.
Yeah.
And even the Vera fight, it was close. It was 1-1 going to that third
Really
round.
close.
So
Really close.
so it's, and I think Vera definitely had the momentum going into that round. So it's tough here. So I don't know if the days of Aldo winning like those big fights I think they're kind of past him. In this one, it's tough though, because Pedro Munhoz doesn't offer a lot of those challenges. He has the power advantage, I think, in this fight, but I think Aldo has a lot more speed than he does. Like, I really do. I think
a lot more. I think a lot more speed.
Yeah, I think it's Aldo by decision. Like, it's plus 140 Aldo by decision. I like that. If it's Munoz, I think it's Munoz by KO. I think he could land a big counter shot if that's going to be his route to victory. And that's at plus 400. So it's tough. Personally, I think it's going to be Aldo by decision plus 140, but this is one that I'm very hesitant to bet, to be honest with you. This is a tough one for me just because I'm almost thinking the biases of what we grew up with Jose Aldo is playing a factor in this one for me. And I don't want that.
I think so too.
I don't want that affect betting. You know what I mean? That's tough to do. But cool. We're split on a lot of these, which is interesting. All right, let's get into the main event. We got my guy, Derek Lewis, the Black Beast, fighting Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane is a minus 340 favorite right now. What do you got?
Going up.
I'll start. I mean, Black Beast, almost degenerate of the year. We love him, but Gane hasn't lost. And he's been impressive. Like, the guy's coming off beating Volkov, Rosenstrike, Dos Santos, like all big names, all guys we respect in the heavyweight division. So to say like he's gonna come in here and get knocked out could happen, obviously, but he should dominate this fight from the outside. And if he could get Lewis on his back once, this fight might be over.
I kind of disagree with you, B, in the fact that, yeah, he's fought some names, but not really good fighters. And I don't think there's anyone necessarily hotter in the UFC than Derek Lewis right now. I mean, you could argue that he's as good as he'll ever be, and he's trending upward. So I think it's one of those things where Gane is, more skilled on the ground. He's a more skilled all-around fighter. But I think the size and the strength of Derek Lewis is going to throw all kinds of fits.
I mean, obviously, he does that to everyone. He was getting beat against Rosenstrike, just knocked him out.
But I feel like
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think Rosenstrike's a bigger guy, than Gane is. I think Gane's a little like slighter when it comes to heavyweights. I mean, maybe just because of the way he looks like compared to Lewis, but I mean, I think it's going to be, obviously it's the same key for Lewis every time he fights. Knock him out in the first 3 rounds or he's toast. So, obviously that's what needs to happen on his part. Can Gane avoid that? Can he control the fight on the ground? Is he that skilled to dominate him? I mean, that's interesting. It's going to be very interesting. And obviously no one really wanted this fight. This wasn't the fight we're supposed to have for the interim
quite
title.
Sure how we got here, but I don't know. I feel like he deserves, this fight, but not the title shot.
You talking Gane or
yeah, Gane. I feel like Gane is. I mean, Volkov. We always talk about Volkov being that bridge. Like, if you beat Volkov, you go fight, in the top 5 in the division. And he went and did that in dominant fashion.
Too. Rosenstrike's that guy too. Like
now, yeah.
Yeah.
For a second, we thought Rosenstrike was going to be what, Ngannou is. That guy was knocking dudes out left and right. The heavyweight, that's the thing about heavyweight, though. You have a little bit of power in this fight, and that could be it. It could just end.
And the power is just so heavily one-sided. And that's what's scary. Like, you thought with the Rosenstrike he could knock out, Derek Lewis too, but I don't think Gane can knock out Derek Lewis. I just don't see it happening. But fucking Lewis can knock Gane's fucking head off at any given point of this fight.
Absolutely. Ask Curtis Blades.
Yeah.
Okay, more.
Yeah. So, so well done. Yeah, like you guys said, it's weird that we're here. It's weird that we have this fight now. I think Lewis is, with the whole Dana and Ganu, Stipe, Jones, they're all going back and forth on what's going to happen. But I'm not disappointed. You know what I mean? I mean, we still Derek Lewis fight. You know what I mean? And that's what's building this card. Derek Lewis is someone that is like easily promotable by the UFC. He's got a great Instagram. And I'd be so down with this guy to be UFC champion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's great on the mic. He's a man of the people. I fucking love it. So I'm about this fight, and I'm about Derek Lewis, obviously. With that being said, you guys said it. There's literally nothing in MMA that Derek Lewis is better than Cyril Gane is, except for power. Like that, there's literally nothing else. Gane is better striking, he's better grappler. He's got better cardio. He's got, way more of a jiu-jitsu submission game. Like, it's not even close in any way, shape, or form with any of those stuff. But as you guys said, the power advantage, and it doesn't matter in Derek Lewis's fights. He was getting absolutely dominated by Curtis Blades for that first round until he wasn't. You know what I mean? The Volkov fight before he fought for the belt against DC, he was losing the entire 14 minutes and 30 seconds, and then he knocked him out in 30 seconds left. Yeah. Like, that's all he needs. So it doesn't matter. So the question is, can Derek Lewis get to Cyril Gane's chin? And no one's done it yet. That's the problem. You know what I mean? We talk about Volkov a lot, and Volkov, like big boy Volkov, since he's put on weight and he's been knocking dudes out, he knocked out Overeem, he knocked out Walt Harris. The dude was looking real good. I actually thought he was going to beat Gane.
Yeah, we're at that pool party. You bet Volkov.
Yeah, no, I bet I like
Gane dominated that fight.
A lot, but
Gane dominated.
He just did what Gane does. He just pieced him up from the outside the whole time. Didn't let Volkov get inside too much. I mean, he did a little bit. He landed some good shots, maybe one around two, but overall, still Gane just does his thing and just pieces people up and moves on. And it's a guy that only has like 9 professional fights, so he's pretty damn good. Like, I'll give him that. It's just can he handle the one knockout shot from Derek Lewis? I think the obvious route for Gane, as we said, is Gane by decision. He's done it to Rosenstrike. He did it to Volkov. That's his game. So if you're looking to bet that's plus 180 Gane by decision. I think that's more than likely your route if you're thinking Gane. Or you think Derek Lewis's cardio gives out and you think it's Gane by TKO. Possible.
Yeah. I mean,
I want to go Derek Lewis. Go ahead, B.
I could just see, like, Derek Lewis is the guy who can still knock your teeth out 20 minutes into a fight. And I think that's what Gane by decision scares me, because it could be 4th round, 30 seconds left, and his coaches are like, you've lost 4 rounds, and he just lands an uppercut and it's over.
100%.
I mean, I really do think Gane's like this next big heavyweight that we're gonna see fight Ngannou or Bones, Stipe, one of them. Even Curtis Blades could be in that conversation. Who's gonna bet this? No one's gonna bet.
No one's laying that.
Yeah, I mean, the official pick, it's gonna be Gane for me. Unfortunately, wow. I don't like betting guys that I have. I don't like betting guys that they have to knock. That's their only route, is just that one punch. So, like, I don't like that bet, and I'm not gonna even bet Gane. I'm actually gonna bet, the prop for Lewis by KO, which is plus 320. So I'm gonna put maybe like a half unit on that, hope that it hits. But I don't think the value for Gane at minus 340 is even there either, because as we saw with Curtis Blades, he was a minus 350 and he got knocked the fuck out by Derek Lewis. You know what I mean? He was dominating that whole fight. So
he was beating him
way
up
more bettable on the Lewis side. Yeah. If you're going to bet it, you better bet Lewis, because 340 on this side, that ain't going to get it done.
Yeah, it's not worth it when the guy could go to sleep, 20 minutes into the fight.
And you saw the face-offs. Lewis, we talked about it earlier, texting. Lewis came in way bigger. He's 18 pounds bigger. The guy literally has to cut to make 265, the heavyweight limit. So he's coming in with a lot of pop. He's coming in with a lot of confidence, and they're fighting in Houston in his backyard. So I'm riding with the Black Beast. More than likely, it just makes sense for Gane to win this fight, but nothing makes sense in a Derek Lewis fight. And that's the bottom line. Nothing makes sense in a Derek Lewis fight.
That's
Give
well
me
said.
Black Beast by knockout, 3rd round. Fuck it.
Wow.
What else you guys got, boys, on this fight?
I mean, I'm
think
gonna.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we wrapped it up. I mean, as far as, you know, these guys, it's going to be an interesting battle of two different styles. And, you know, like you said, it doesn't make sense. So, you know, right back, let us know your picks. We're going to have some polls out there tomorrow. We're going to have some picks that we're going to have for the rest of the card. We have a couple more fights on there that we didn't get to on here, but let us know your picks. Anything you want to leave us with K Morgan on this card tomorrow that we should look out for?
Did you see when that reporter asked Derek Lewis about, well, I posted it on my story. Did you guys see it when he asked about getting beat up by a French guy?
No.
Did you see that?
In
Or
his
no?
No,
hometown.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, he's
He
like,
said, excuse my
he's like,
French,
Derek
fuck
Lewis,
you.
what do you? Yeah, he said, what do you think it's going to be like getting beat up by a French guy in your hometown? He said, excuse my French, fuck you and fuck him.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
We want to see it.
I want to see it. I
Super
want to see
fired
it.
up.
I want to see Black Beast.
Yeah.
Get that interim
No,
belt.
we'll be
Get that interim belt. So
watching.
we'll have a
Yeah,
live.
we'll be watching, guys.
Live stories throughout the day. We'll have some picks, like I said. We'll have some polls. We're gonna try to get you some recap at some point. Next week, a big week. We got college football, so college football is gonna take up a huge chunk of time. So be on the lookout for that college football episode. It's gonna be something special, like last year was. And go listen to Bolds. Bolds is gonna be up till football season. So you know, it was a great episode. A lot of positive feedback on that.
Yeah, and follow my boy Spinning Back Picks on the IG. He's gonna be all over this card, laying down that good picks for you guys. So let us know what you guys do tomorrow, and good luck with the bets.
All right.
Later.
Yep.